I want to share with you something a little different about spiritualism. I want to share with you the value of spiritualism. We talked a little bit previously about Andrew Jackson Davis and his description of the Summerland. And I understand why he refers to it as the Summerland because, well, that's how it appears as the Summerland. I was shown the I don't want to say the gates, but I was shown the early process of when we do make our transition from this room to the other. And you know, this was in the form of a dream, but it was more than a dream. I was in a building. It was a brick building, very clear, and the buildings were white, and the window let out into a courtyard. And mind you, there is no glass on the windows; they're merely openings in the wall, so the air can flow freely. And as I looked outside the window, the grass was lush and green, as it is in the beginning of summer. And there was a fountain there. And as I'm in the room and I'm looking around, it's well prepared. But this was not my room. This was not for me. This was for my brother. It was his room. Because in the room was his Doberman, Dobie, his his other dog, Ranger, a cat. Those three have already made their transition, and there was another dog, the one he currently has. And that is how I knew it was not my room. And as I'm looking out the window again, there is a dark-skinned gentleman crossing the courtyard. And as he enters the room, and there are no doors, all is open. There are no doors, no barriers. As he enters the room, he is no longer wearing the suit. Now, this imagery here is rich with symbolism. The white is initiation, it's the beginning. The windows, yes, they're like looking into the past, but there's more than that with it. There is the feel of a place of contemplation, a place of reflection. But I want to share something that is even more important, that I feel is even more important. We are told that it is our loved ones that greet us when we make that move. But that term is a poor description because, yes, it is our loved ones, but it is those with whom we have established an intimate relationship with or a bond with. Those are the ones who come to us because of that connection. It's as though I'm being told that we should develop these bonds, these connections, because our society, and I'm not using that in a very specific way, but we have become disconnected. Dysfunctional is a term that a lot of people use a lot. And with this intimacy that we develop with those with whom we choose, there's that harmony that we seek. And it's that harmony that we take with us. One of my teachers told me that when we move from this room to the other, we go where our belief takes us. And I'm no longer sure if that's the case. It's as though we merely move into a place where we prepare ourselves. And as they were slowly drawing me from this, I was in a foyer, a very large foyer, very much like you would see at a typical funeral home. And I saw them carry my brother in and lay him out to rest. So there is a period of waiting, but it's not a period of waiting. It's a period of recovery, of preparation. And we move from there into these mansions, these many mansions that we are told that are for us. Now, how they are formed and shaped and why, I do not know. I was only provided with this glimpse, and I was moved to share this with you, particularly since it has taken me the better part of 4 hours to collect myself, because the sensation was as though I were actually there. And they speak only to those who are unable to communicate properly through thought. Thoughts are extremely important when they are stressing about the way we think, to think positive, to think better, to visualize. They're very literal with that, because communication occurs through pictures, through the mind, through pictures. That's the importance of all these symbols that we've been given in our mythologies and in our rituals. And I wanted to share that with you while the image and the sensation is still fresh. So would anyone like to ask any questions or make any comments?
So basically what you're saying is that like if my father, when he passed over, if he did not believe in anything, no higher power, not God, not Jesus, he might have gone to whatever his mind thought of as leaving this world.
I don't believe so. I mean, my teacher taught me that we go where our belief carries us. And that wasn't the impression. That wasn't what I was impressed with. That wasn't the feeling. It was, though, it's a progression. We move to a point to where we recover. And as Andrew Jackson Davis describes it, we go into like a hospital where we are cared for until we are able to move about on our own, much like when we go to a hospital here after surgery. We recover. We're in the recovery room. They care for us until we're able to get up and move about on our own. And once we do that, we're able to go to a place of contemplation. It's and you are in a place. It's not where you're necessarily surrounded by people you know, but those people that you have those deep connections with. That's those deep connections we have with others it's our lifeline with each other. It sets up that resonance. That's life and the divine. As best as I can explain it, and is how I understand it. Because my brother, his belief system does not include what we discuss, what we share, what we feel it's going to be. His belief system is not like that. He believes in a higher power, but in one that's very different from what I believe. And yet this is where I was taken. This is where I was brought to, was a place of his own making, in a manner of speaking. My brother likes things very simple. I prefer things just a little tad more extravagant, but he likes things very simple. And this room had a bed, blankets. There was another room with a table, a place to greet others, to entertain, and that was pretty much it. But I know that there's something else beyond that. But I was only prepared to go that far. And I know in one of these sharings about spiritualism, I may have talked about in how Arthur Conan Doyle talked about people not getting the higher teachings of spiritualism. This would qualify as part of those higher teachings of spiritualism. How you get there, I don't know. All I can say is that harmony within yourself and with that's around you. Think of the prayer as on earth as it is in heaven. Inner and outer have to become one. That's and as I'm listening to that, that is the picture I see. Heaven is that inner aspect of us. The earth is that outer aspect with us. When you do something in one, it's reflected in the other. But when the two become one, they become more. And that's the only thing I can explain on how to reach that, but they bring you there. So and I feel that would be the same case with your father. He was brought to a place where he was able to rest and recover, cared for. And when he was able to leave, and I believe the way Davis described it was a melodious music or sound awakens them, or a breath of fresh air awakens them, and they're able to get up. But that was as far. I don't know if any of his writings goes further than that, but this experience went further than that. We go to a place of contemplation where you prepare yourself, because everything is white, and white is the color of the initiate. And the initiate, yeah, they purify themselves, but that's what you do when you begin something new. You get rid of the clutter, so you've got room for the new clutter, in a manner of speaking. And that's what this looked like. And I could tell that there were many. It was a courtyard, and where there's a courtyard, there's many rooms, or it's in the center of a large building. And I knew it was like that. I didn't have to see it. I just knew it was like that. And this is part of the value of spiritualism, when they take you into this, and you're able to understand some of it. I hope this was helpful for you.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Okay.
James Van Praagh had a similar description of a transitional area that souls go to once they meet their guides and or loved ones, and they're greeted when they cross over. They kind of debrief and get restored and get reacclimated in a transitional, almost like hospital, especially if this lifetime has been difficult or they came out of a difficult end or something like that.
I might offer that it may actually be easier for someone like your father, Nancy, without a strong belief about what is there, than someone with very rigid beliefs. That many have said that those have the most difficult time. Those that are so sure that what their religious practice has told them about the afterlife. And so when the afterlife is very different from the picture that they have believed their whole life, that it takes more of a transition. So it coming at that from a place of not really having a strong belief about it, may be actually better than the alternative.
Okay.
So
Would anyone else like to comment or share something?
that was wonderful to share that with us, Philip. I just want to mention that.
Thank you.
Very
agree.
powerful experience.
Yes, that it was. And believe it or not, I heard some voices, and I've got phones on, so the only voices I could hear is yours. And just about everybody's on mute, and I'm still hearing people in the background with something to say. Do you have something to add, Rachel?
No, I just agree with Reverend Thomas. Thank you for sharing that. That was very powerful.
Mhm. It's a very nice, it's a nice picture. It's a peaceful picture to look forward to, I guess, if look forward to is the right way to say it. But it's, I like the image. Mhm,
Yes, it was very powerful.
mhm,
Very powerful. Like I said, I spent the last 4 hours trying to gather myself
mhm.
here once more, and wow, the difficulty of it. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to share that with you. You know, the value of spiritualism, or, you know, and it would probably be much better to say the value of life. So thank you once again.